Chat, here we go. It's Mawkzy versus Rezears in a 20-minute best of one. If you're just tuning in for the first time in the madness, we have ourselves a 32-player bracket in which everybody is having to play each other in 20-minute best of ones. Winner, of course, is the person who's able to find a way to stay sane for all 20 minutes and come out on top. Now, these players can take a timeout if they ever would like to. A timeout is available after a goal replay to get 2 minutes to think it through, take a break, and get back to it. The only other special rule is that if somebody gets up 15, then it ends right then and there. Now, Mawkzy is coming off of the round as the 2 seed, playing against Rezears. He was able to mercy rule his opponents. You guys are the ones who seeded this entire bracket. And I do believe that means that Rezears, who I think was favored in his matchup and was able to get the win, makes him the 7 seed, if I want to say I have this correctly, for the second round. So this is your 2 versus your 7 seed. I think a lot of people have Mawkzy advancing in this round. But will it be as comfortable as the previous one? Or will Rezears be able to get an upset? There wasn't a ton of upsets over there in the West bracket, which of course does mean that chat just knows ball, since they're the ones who picked the seeding. Now, do they know ball enough to know that Rezears could have a strong chance against Mawkzy? We will have to see. Mawkzy dropping this flick as the ball heads over to Rezears. I think Mawkzy was a guy who was really excited about this format. Obviously, Mawkzy is excited about ones no matter what kind of format we're playing, and he loves his opportunity to play in competitive ones tournaments. But I asked a few players that I feel like I know well or play on the stream frequently. I said, yo, I'm thinking about this 20-minute match. Is it insane? Is it ridiculous? Would you actually be excited? And I think as far as all the responses I got, Mawkzy was the most excited. He had said he had been thinking about tournaments like this before. He had wanted a chance to show that it's about the mental grind. And so he was stoked to hear about the 20-minute match. And will he be able to prove why he was so stoked is the question as he gets a demo on Rezears. It will be a second goal. Nush will be playing later. Chat is really excited about Nush, and I'll tell you what, that's cool. I'm glad to see chat so excited about watching Nush play. He is not playing until later today. He is playing against Strafinho, who is in scrims right now. He's over in EU, and so that's why their match is starting later. You'll be able to see Nush for Strafinho here on this channel coming up later, as Rezears able to 50 this one on the goal line and force it in for a tie game. Rezears racing back to his back corner. Mawkzy was maybe trying to get a boost steal or a demo. Didn't grab either, so he is forced to back off. Now Rezears on a slow dribble. Nice delay of the flick. Waits until Mawkzy challenges and then takes it over the top of him. This is an expert dribble by Rezears. 43-27 Mawkzy. Is that you predicting the scoreline? Since those don't add up to 100, I'm assuming those are not percentages or chances to win. That will be a lot of goals if Mawkzy's able to get to 43. Pre-flip save, not going to be there. Mawkzy will tie it back up. Oh, also impossible because it's too big of a goal difference. The mercy rule will happen before that. But I'm actually interested to see. Chat had about 99% or even a little bit more for Nas in his earlier round. 87% for Mawkzy against Rezears, according to chat. They seem pretty comfortable in their 2 seed being able to pull this one out, prevent the upset. Who do you think is the most mechanical in this bracket? That's tough to say. The first names that come to mind are probably Drally. As the guy you maybe think of as most mechanical. Nush has been very mechanical when he's played recently. Joria is very mechanical. Mawkzy going to take this possession into his back corner. Again, we've already seen that West bracket played, and the winner who was able to come out of the West was very good at maintaining possession, playing slow, taking the ball back into his corner when he needed to, and just making sure he got good takes on net. Although this time Mawkzy, he did that and resulted in Rezears being able to make a save and counter. It's always interesting to keep track of the biggest lead in the game, which, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, is only 2. And I think it's by Mawkzy a second ago, and now it's gone. Air dribble bump, and we're back to 5-5. Rezears sidewall dribble pinched away. He'll start again from his back wall. Gonna play on the ground. Another delayed flick attempt, but he started the single jump so early that he was not going to be able to hold on to the flip long enough to outplay Mawkzy, so he did instead look for a way to return back to the ground and make an outplay. And even though he didn't get a goal, he does have himself a possession. That was a pretty bouncy flick there for 0 boost. Either way, 0 boost possession, too hard to hold on to, and Mawkzy does get control here as he's trying to be a pest, not allow Rezears to get clean off the back wall. Will grab the midfield boost and the back corner. Rezears, in an attempt to regain possession, gets himself demoed. Can he respawn in time? No, he cannot. So that's one of the ways to play a position like that, with Mawkzy trying to retreat, get a clean possession. With you having to sit back in net, you can just follow him there and attempt to break it up, but you might get yourself demoed. And now Mawkzy able to get 2 quick ones. Has himself a 7-5 lead. Matched wave dash kickoff. Rezears wins it, and Mawkzy can't do anything to stop it. It's interesting as far as timeouts go. By the first 5 matches I want to say I streamed, 4 or 5 matches I streamed, all had players using their timeout. In some cases it had players on both sides using their timeout, and then ever since then we have not seen a timeout again. For whatever reason, players, either just because they're not used to having a timeout available that they can call at any time during the game, or they just don't think it will help them at all, we have seen a reduced usage of timeouts. Mawkzy missing this flick. Going to allow Rezears to get a 7th goal. No recovery from Mawkzy is going to make it possible. Do they know they have a timeout? Yeah, I always make sure before every round to remind them they have a timeout, and about the mercy rule. Those are the 2 special rules. Other than that, it is just a 20-minute match. Mawkzy back corner dribble. After the first 5 minutes played, he does have a slight edge, but it really has been back and forth. So tough to say who has won here early. We've seen this happen, though, for some of the favorites in the tournament. The kind of guys who would, maybe lose a game or 2 in a best of 5, but would eventually pull out and win. The way that has looked like as Rezears gets a power slide cut and gets a goal, that has often looked like kind of like this, where early on in the first half, the match feels close before they're able to pull away in the end and make it somewhat comfortable. We'll see if that happens for Mawkzy. Right now, Rezears able to keep it perfectly tied on another delayed play. Mawkzy's able to make that save. Thank you to Bomashed92 for the brand new Prime. Hopefully you've been enjoying the madness. Rezears, is he going to recover? No. And that's why I do feel like if you're that underdog like Rezears is coming into this matchup, it almost feels like you need to get an early lead. You can't just get away with playing close over the course of the first 15 minutes. You need to go into that final game, that final 5 minutes, with a considerable lead that you can try and hold on to. And if not, that top player, that favored player, always seems to find a way. Rezears will counterattack here from his back wall to tie this one up. Rezears diving past the ball. Mawkzy actually, interestingly, grabbing midfield boost and taking it back to him over here in the corner, which is not something you see very often. Normally, you see players trying to get around the ball and attack and take advantage of the fact that somebody dove aggressively. Instead, Mawkzy said, here, let me bring the ball back to you. I'll do half the work for you. And while I was optimistic for him, because he is a top ones player and he's in these situations a lot, he did end up just giving the ball to Rezears and allowing him to score. So 11-9. Rezears now able to get a 2-goal lead maybe for the first time on his side. Rezears not going to be able to maintain possession, or maybe he will. Can he dodge the demo? He's able to keep Mawkzy from connecting, and Mawkzy just gets a shove this time. Not enough to delete him from the map, which means he will still be around as Mawkzy just keeps forcing low 50s. He knows that Rezears is awkward, so no need to panic flip or do anything special. Just stay behind the ball, take advantage of the fact that Rezears is the one who has to try and make a tough position work. And Mawkzy is actually going to get 2 kickoff goals, or at least I should say a midfield goal and then a kickoff goal to tie it up. 11-11. Mawkzy not able to get the midfield boost here, so he will reset in the back corner. Rezears air dribble. His 50 does not go through. Mawkzy recognizes that this has become a race to the midfield and just heads straight there. Able to beat Rezears to it and even single jump over the potential bump. Mawkzy, his flick is past Rezears. Now a 12-11 lead. Rezears going to challenge early, not allow Mawkzy to get something going off the ceiling. We haven't seen too much high aerial gameplay off kickoffs like that, and Rezears is not intent on them seeing it at all as he's able to get a great counterattack. Credit to Rezears for this really soft touch to set this up. He recognized that Mawkzy was being a bit over aggressive, and not often do you see a player able to get such a soft touch and set up a power shot that quickly. Rezears taken to the skies. Mawkzy defending from the ground. Rezears has the reset, delays it as much as he could get away with, but ultimately Mawkzy still able to play it passively, wait on the goal line, and able to get that counterattack save as Rezears gets caught up in the net. So this one has truly been back and forth, and I think we see that a lot. I mentioned this before, but after that first round, you never really know how everyone's going to be playing on the day. Rezears able to air dribble this over the top of Mawkzy. But once you have 2 players who have both won in the day, it usually means they're playing well. You'll see a decent back and forth as Mawkzy and Rezears both go into the wave dash. Mawkzy will dive. Rezears doing the more common tactic of trying to pinch the ball or rush the ball away from the diving offender, but gets himself demoed, so it doesn't pay off much better. And Mawkzy goes low 50 and earns himself a 14th. Rezears high pop. An ambitious attempt to demo or cut off Mawkzy's angle as he jumped to the back wall. Didn't really get close. Now he's in a tough position. Mawkzy cannot be allowed to get to his flick. If he gets to a spot where all he needs to do is flick, and there's a timeout. We have a timeout used. It's going to come with 10:40 on the clock, right around halftime. It'll be a timeout for Rezears. All right. 2-minute timeout. I'm assuming that's why he said pause. He wanted himself his timeouts. And I think it's a good idea to use them. Mawkzy getting up 2, maybe he feels like it's a position that could get out of hand. if he doesn't stop it. This is his only timeout, so he will not be able to call a timeout again. People are messaging him in chat. I think he was in chat earlier. You guys trying to pipe him up? He needs his coach. This would be a great time if there were coaches in 1v1 to get a little chat with your coach and figure out what you need to do to come back. But again, Rezears is in a decent position. A little mental reset as he has a minute left here on his timeout. Rezears just had to go pee and refill his water. Maybe he did have to go pee. Mawkzy says he's ready for the unpause. Rezears says he's ready. 20 seconds left here on the timeouts. So we'll let it tick down a little bit. And then we will unpause and get back to the action. (15-13). Rezears able to take his break. And can he use that as a way to resurge back in this game? Mawkzy, of course, gets to take the break as well. But Rezears, denied the immediate goal. And it already feels like the players do slow down after 10 minutes straight of playing. And it feels like they're refreshed and moving much quicker as Rezears doesn't reset on the back corner boost. Mawkzy, a double jump. Can he get the bump? Rezears over the top, able to make the save. Dunked here as he couldn't get his dribble going. Mawkzy able to stay on offense. Rezears bumped him though, and that might be enough. Took the ball away. Even got himself demo, and Mawkzy pre-flipped himself into a demo. They're slowed down yet moving quicker. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I was just wrong about the pause. I mean, the pause, they slowed down so they can move quicker, I should say. They slowed down for 2 minutes, and now they're ready to move. Mawkzy, goal line 50. Rezears able to make the save. Will the timeout lead to 2 straight goals? It seems like it will. 15-15. Gotta think that's not a terrible timeout if you are able to quickly come back. Can he make this run extend even more? Still, I think 2 goals is the maximum we've seen as a lead for anybody. Mawkzy gets a demo and gets himself a 16th. We've yet to see, I mean, I think timeout buff has been the case for most timeouts I've seen. I think 1 timeout so far in the tournament has just led to whoever was in the lead extending it even more. High pop for Rezears. Got to think he will not deny his opportunity for a nice little air dribble. Oh, what a save from Mawkzy. It's great placement from Rezears, so it makes Mawkzy save so solid. Thought for sure being able to force it in top right with Mawkzy having creeped out of the net a little bit would be a goal, but Mawkzy able to return the goal. Difference back to 2. Why is round 2 happening before round 1? It's all the magic of scheduling and player availability. So obviously an ideal world is all the first round happens, all the second round happens, etc. But scheduling is not an ideal world. Mawkzy able to deny this possession from Rezears. He's found himself deep in Rezears' half many times and not been able to come back from it and make a save. And this is probably the most unique time where he ends up close and bodying Rezears a bit before Rezears muscles him off the ball and He's able to get the goal. You think we had an 11-11 at 11-11 on the Toxic versus Shoddy matchup? That's huge. That's huge news. Chat has been desperate for the 11-11 at 11-11. Mawkzy kickoff win and a flick to the top left. You'll see that a lot. Rezears needs to try and hit the best he possibly can to prevent it. That was an interesting straight up and down stand there for a second from Mawkzy on the wave dash kickoff, but this may be the biggest lead we have seen all game long. 19-16 for Mawkzy. Rezears taking this possession into his back corner. Using a little bit of wall dashing to keep speed as opposed to boost. He wall dashed while he was on the wall and then jumped off, so those wheels don't slow him down. Rezears going underneath this challenge. Mawkzy, he's just a pest. He's just a pest, and he eventually gets his goal. It feels like Rezears was just waiting for his opportunity. You know, he wasn't really panicked. He thought, eventually, I'm going to get my possession. It just never becomes available. Mawkzy continues to grind it out on the back wall. And now has a 4-goal lead. A lead that, you know, even in a regular game could be come back from, and yet the fact that it's the biggest lead we've seen this whole 20-minute match feels like he's starting to pull away. This flick from Rezears turns it to 3. Rezears has been forcing the wave dash kickoffs into Mawkzy's half. Seems like more often than not. Although it's going to end up in a neutral possession here. Mawkzy able to dunk it away. Rezears will he challenge off the ceiling? No, it's a fake. He goes back down to the ground, and Mawkzy tried to get the landing catch that rolls the ball on the ground as a way to punish the high defense from Rezears, but he found his way all the way back down. Now a goal line 50. Able to steal the back corner boost, so Mawkzy forced to head to the opposite side wall. He will not wall to air dribble, though. He will cut it infield and go for his signature flick. He's a bit high, and he could not 50 it in with the post. Able to score, or in order to be able to score, as Mawkzy now comes off the ceiling. Rezears able to take it away. Mawkzy actually is near the ceiling. It's the Rezears challenge that came off. Now control in Mawkzy's corner. Wanted a 50 and actually got credit for a shot, but Rezears has to save. Or sorry, Mawkzy has to save. Getting mixed up left and right. Mawkzy a demo and a goal line cut. He's going to waste a bit of extra time. Wait for Rezears to respawn before extending the lead to 4. But as we approach the final 5 minutes, Rezears is in it. But this is what I was talking about. We have seen the matches go this way a ton, where it seems like it's close between the favorite and the underdog for 15 minutes at least, if not a little bit more. And it's somehow always in the final moments that favored player seems to find a way to get their separation in a way that they haven't been able to previously. Rezears tap up to the back wall, wave dashing on his recovery out, and Mawkzy just aims to be a brick wall, but he did not rush this goal, and doing so allowed Rezears the recovery and the save. Now he'll pinch this out of the back corner. A couple chain dashes to stick with it. Rezears should be able to dodge this demo. And now, can he go full distance of the field? This feels like such an important take for Rezears. If he scores it, can he find his way back in? If Mawkzy's able to deny it, or even worse, counter it. It feels like it's going to be tough for Rezears going into this final minute. Mawkzy continues to find record distances for this game as we approach the end of it. 6 is now the biggest lead Rezears out of the corner. He needs kickoffs in his favor. Has a reset. Actually forces 50 high. Taking a page out of Mawkzy's book. And patiently waits for the ball to fall. Gets himself the dish off the back wall. So can he dwindle away? Does he have the time? I believe he does. You know, 5-goal comebacks in a 5-minute match are tough, but that's because usually it takes a little bit of that time in order to get that 5-minute lead. In this case, the 5 minutes is starting with the lead, so extra time for Rezears. And is he surging back right now? Mawkzy, his air dribble. He wasn't able to protect it like he would have liked to. You can see him air rolling his car in an attempt to get the biggest possible hitbox, and yet still Rezears pushed through it. This kickoff is a loss, though, for Rezears. Mawkzy rolling it into the corner and then onto the back wall. Likely means he'll have to leave without a shot attempt. And Rezears connect on a demo. No, he tried to jump to the back wall where he thought Mawkzy would be going to make a play. Rezears sends this one high, somehow avoids getting demoed and recovers onto the back wall. Has the own back corner boost and a little zap dash, too, as he comes off the curve. And Rezears able to turn a tough situation into a good one, as Mawkzy seemed like for sure he'd find a way to get that demo, and he did a lot of car control from Rezears to be able to maneuver his car in a way that both retreated into the boost and also did not allow a hitbox that Mawkzy could demo. Mawkzy is saved off this kickoff. Ball to air dribble denied. Rezears says no. Send it back down. I want you on the ground, which actually seems like maybe a tougher place to defend Mawkzy from, but he is able to shadow defend here. Mawkzy chip away from Rezears, who was chain dashing as a way to challenge early, but he sent it into the ceiling, and Rezears able to recover for the bounce. Now we'll take the ball in the back corner. Rezears air dribble from the midfield line, has the reset, goes to the ground. Mawkzy does not react to any setup and eventually gets the 50. Rezears tried to hold on to the ball as long as he could and only make the outplay after the jump, but wasn't able to get around Mawkzy. Mawkzy's positioning is solid enough, too, that Rezears doesn't feel like he has an opening until Mawkzy commits. So credit to Mawkzy for covering every option. Now Rezears, who seemed to be on a bit of a surge that he desperately needed, gets hit back by Mawkzy. His flick is going to go in. Tough to allow Mawkzy to get to that top left corner flick. Pinch from Rezears. Mawkzy now on the carry. Another top left flick, but this one too high. Rezears actually will get a goal from it, most likely. So now we're in familiar territory. Will Mawkzy want to use a timeout at all late in this game? His is still available. Rezears is not. Not able to get a tight angle here, but actually just trying to keep possession, it would seem, as he steals all the boosts on the map. Rezears is forced to hand it over. Does he have time to grab the midfield? Mawkzy faking an initial hook shot. Now we'll go low 50 and try and muscle it through. Rezears has the save, and Mawkzy does not have time to grab boost because Rezears is going to counter. He puts a very solid shot on target, in and out of the net. Can he get the save? No, Mawkzy has the quicker recovery. 26-21. There's never a game mode that has more time than this 20-minute madness match. But that time is finally dwindling away. Mawkzy resets. Couldn't use the flip over the top of Rezears, who needs to find a way to grab midfield boost and make his way back. He's using some chain dashes to do so. Rezears reset out of the corner and needs this to score, and he does. So a minute 30 left to go. A little bit less than 30 seconds per goal is more than enough time. Rezears could afford a kickoff win. He's trying to bump Mawkzy. Sparks are coming off his car, but he doesn't move as Rezears side flips to the back wall. Mawkzy doesn't have boost to work with. He's just trying to clear this one away and play off pads, but he's actually done a great job of doing so. Doesn't seem like he needs 100. And he's wasting a ton of time in the process. Can he prevent Rezears from making the save? Rezears is able to stop it, though, and Mawkzy to follow up. It's off the post and in, and Mawkzy's going to take a timeout. Mawkzy, with 5 minutes left to go, wants a timeout. Or sorry, not 5 minutes, 5-goal lead with 1 minute left to go. He wants to ice out Rezears. We've seen people do this before, seemingly almost trying to inspire forfeits by taking the timeout with a ton of time left. And Rezears is actually going to say, "You're free." He's not backing down. He's going to do the opposite. He's going to trash talk in his timeout, telling Mawkzy that he's free. He's going to have to score 5 goals in 1 minute. There are going to have to be at least a couple kickoff goals in that process. Rezears has been able to win kickoffs. He's not completely out of the game in that way. But Mawkzy game planning here with his timeouts. How does he want to waste time? I think this is his probably first time using the timeout. I don't know if he did in his previous matchup. He was able to get the mercy rule. I think Rezears means that he is available and doesn't need a timeout. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he's telling Mawkzy that he's free. I mean, I don't know how you guys interpret that, but I don't think he's saying that to me. I don't think he would say you're free. All right, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. You ready? Oh, he's saying you're Feer. He just typoed it. Oh, okay. He's just reminding me that I'm Feer. Why did I not realize that? That makes so much sense. All right. The replay will play for a little bit. We have a countdown timer, so we'll hop him in. Mawkzy and Rezears. 27-22 as Mawkzy takes his timeout for a breather in this final minute to secure his win. Rezears taps this one over to Mawkzy, and maybe that timeout was a genius play. You see Rezears dropping the "you're free" during the timeout. He did not back that up on the first kickoff, and now has dug himself an even bigger hole as Mawkzy forces this kickoff to the sidewall and scores it again. 7 now with 45 seconds. Mawkzy decided to throw no trash talk back in the timeout. Is electing to just have his play do the talk here with 30 seconds left to go. And a 7-goal lead is certainly not possible to come back from. Sorry. So Mawkzy will be winning this second round and sending himself to the final 4 of EU. He will dunk Rezears here. He has turned it on another level. He tried to go no cam, and he did get it. Reverse cam goal. 30-22. 17 seconds on the clock. Looks like these guys are going to play it out. Rezears trying to see how many goals he can get on the board. In and out save from Mawkzy. I mean, he's really leveled up. The timeout buff has been real. The timeout buff for Rezears maybe not as strong as the late timeout buff for Mawkzy, which seemed to secure him the game. But an air dribble and a pogo for a final attempt. Rezears, we'll see if he can get a 23rd goal, but he can't. So this round heads to Mawkzy as he moves to the top 4.